What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. We are live on the PTS today and we are testing out all of the new gear and just seeing if it's actually any good or if we actually need to give some really good criticism before hopefully PTS 2 and before these drop into live. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So I'm actually starting off with an unusual one, the Acostas Kneepads. Now I really think that these are super beneficial to PvP. I think that's the angle that they're going down. Whether they'll be used or not, I don't know. It's pretty hard to test PvP when it comes to the PTS. You really need a whole bunch of people to do that, and that's just not something I've got available at the moment. But what I did want to test when these rude NPCs are gonna stop knocking me is at the bottom we get this minus 50% movement impairment penalty from status effects. This is kind of new, right? We've not really had anything that's done this before, and there's a couple of things right off the rip that you can think about that to give you that impairment, and that is going to be when your shield breaks and the wonkiness that you get from the backfire, because when you reload you get the bleed damage on you and it pretty much sends you haywire. Means that you have to start building a Hasbro build, and you take damage out your build to build Hasbro, and the chatterboxes, the Ouroboros, just use that, right? Why would you bother doing anything like that when you can go full damage with other SMGs? So this is the one that we are going to try out, because the backfire mine's expertise level 10 here right now, and you can see for this high RPM, this many in the mag, it hits really hard, right? It hits really hard. Now just do pay attention here. I have for some reason got magazine size on this backfire. I haven't got damage to target out of cover, or anything that I don't know really what I was doing with this at the time. But that's not what we're testing. We're not here to min-max the build, and that's why I've got the shield on. I'm running gunner. I've not got Banshee pulse on. Not using the firewall shield. Blah blah. Right, we're here to test, and that is what we're going to do. And for testing, we're going to go to everyone's most hated playground. We're going to go to Lincoln Memorial. So we're just going to whack it on heroic. I'm just kind of going to see what happens with the reload first of all.
Secure the memorial and remove the True Sun's forces. They maintain this outpost.
Oh, we'll just do both actually. Just see whatever happens first. Right, okay, so that actually got both at the same time though, and that's pretty crazy. All right, so it completely nullifies, it feels like, the reload jitter. You get the grey screen, but you don't get any of the weird effects with it. Watch, I reload now. I can still ADS absolutely fine, and you see the Kneepad go, and it just doesn't seem to affect me at all. But I am taking a hefty chunk of damage, as you saw, from the bleed still. Very interesting. Very interesting. So let's do this now with the shield. Let him destroy the shield. That is still pretty bad, but it is better than what it was. That is pretty interesting. So it's not like a Hasbro protection. Just run it straight out. Look, and you can see, look, I can still play the game absolutely fine as long as you don't mind the grey screen. It really has no impact whatsoever. But it's not a Hasbro protection. It literally just takes that movement buff, debuff away from you. Now, what's interesting with this is that I'm running Palisade, right, which has the 10% armor on kill. That was enough to kind of deflect the bleed damage, and if we just pay a little bit of attention in this next area, I'll play a little bit rough, run and gun style, even with having the Banshee pulse. And just keep an eye on my life bar, obviously, with the bleed. One behind me. You can see that the bleed isn't a problem, and I'm actively reloading, right, rather than, you know, with this gun you'd be like, oh, I'll reload, try and reload at the end of my mag. I don't have the bleed effect to minimize the minimize it happening, but it literally just plays, it completely nullifies the bleed effect. And obviously I'm you know, the having just that very small, you know, armor on kill here, yeah, it literally made this would be interesting looking at the DPS for this build now and how good this actually is, because you could absolutely run this. This is completely viable. You know, we've got full damage from strikers. Yes, all right, we're losing a little bit from a brand set bonus because we're having to run that 10% armor on kill there. Don't forget we are also getting 10% armor on kill from Gunner. I really feel like it might get a little bit tough just running Gunner by itself. But, and you are kind of restricted here as well. Because with, you think about it, you know, I know, oh God, boring strikers, right? But if we ran Hunter's Fury, we would be forced into running the Hunter's Fury chest or backpack, and both are not great, right? So we kind of forced into using strikers when it comes to the Acostas Kneepads in PvE, you know, anyway. That's kind of what we're saying. You know, and I was at 60% crit chance and 110% critical hit damage, but obviously we get that huge amount of stacks from payment in kind, and yeah, the reload made zero difference with this build. Do I think this is what they were intended for? Absolutely not. Does it work really well? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you don't have to, with this, you don't have to back a Hasbro build anymore for the backfire. Is this game breaking? Not really. Is it really that interesting? It's like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 if I'm going to really rate it. Would I use this over my Ouroboros or my Chatterbox? Probably not. Probably not. But that's probably not the intention of the Acostas knee pads. It's just a nicety that it does do this, and it shows that if you know you're going to be running around with these things on, you know, when people are trying to CC you, then actually it works pretty well. It actually works pretty well. So yeah, so that's the Acostas knee pads. That is my review. Nothing game changing as far as an exotic goes. Is it special? I mean, it's really good if you want to run the backfire. If you don't, then you're probably just going to use them for an exotic component. That's going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.